Hey everyone, Artosis here, bringing you some more of the Korea-China Invitational League. I know that the last series was a little bit one-sided, surprisingly so. Probably the only mismatch I think that we're going to have in this league. But, you know, at least there were some entertaining games in there. Up next, we are going to be going into 8-15, which is a Korean pro gamer. He's been in ASL before. He's gotten reasonably deep in ASL, and he is one of the most aggressive players in the world. He's certainly top 3 aggressive Zerg. Incredibly cheesy. We should see a lot of rushes coming out of him. And his opponent is going to be ZhanHun, who is the best Chinese Protoss player, and actually also known for being very, very cheesy. So I think we're going to have some fireworks in this match. Once again, it's going to be a 9-game series. So we are going to play all 9, even if it goes, unfortunately, like that Mihu Saber series went, where it gets really one-sided. Honestly, I think it'll be reasonably close, because when you have 2 very aggressive players like this go at it, even if the skill levels are pretty different, like the strategies that you're doing as an aggressive player, their win percentages are not going to be as crazy as, like, oh, I just out macro you and there's not really a lot of holes, right? There's always holes in aggressive strategies. So anyways, I'm hoping for a good one, guys. Thank you so much for checking out ArtosisCasts. Still have a lot of great matches coming up. I have, you know, the Invitational League, as well as the RISS still going. And very soon we are going to have the CNSL, the new season, starting up. So that's going to be a lot of fun as well. So let's take a look at what's going on in this first game. ZhanHun immediately goes for a pylon behind the mineral stack here. So that's like, he's faking a cannon rush because it was a gateway expand, but he actually makes a forge. So, like, is it a fake? This is so weird. It's amazing. The first Zealot is coming out, and he is making a cannon behind there. Okay. Okay. Well, I mean, I told you that these guys are cheesy and aggressive, and that's exactly what we're seeing here. So that first cannon is coming down. The drone's going to try to come up, and he actually relays that. So one thing I want to mention, this is probably the hardest position to hop drones over. I mean, I haven't personally done it, but because the minerals are flat, it's really easy to hop them over in a little nook like that. But yeah, just I think I see why this cannon rush is working so well. This might be the best position out of any modern map for a cannon rush. Not 100% sure on that, but yeah, really, really cool. Now, he is targeting down this sunken colony, and we'll be able to pop that so easily. The Lings here, he does bring the Zealot down to force the Lings back so that this cannon has time to finish. A little bit sloppy there with the Zealot for a moment. He is going to go ahead and get a couple hits off. So the Sunken's going to die pretty quickly, and the Zealot is still here. It's still alive. The Ling's going to try to get on top of this cannon, and some of them will, in fact, get in. Oh my god, those two Lings almost kill the cannon. And in fact, these Lings coming up will end up getting it. 3 pylons remain. The hatchery is still here somehow, some way, despite 2 finished cannons and a Zealot. But it looks like 8-15 has held on. Really, really impressive stuff. We have the Zealots continuing to be rallied up, and he is making a defensive cannon at home here. Oh my god, if 8-15 doesn't move that Overlord, that is going to be a crucial mistake in this game. Kind of crazy that he's held this off so far. And you see the Zealots are being picked off here. I'm sure he'll go down and check as he cleans up the Lings what's left over. And yeah, move that Overlord out of the way. Woo, that would have been bad. Okay, so where are we at? These 3 pylons obviously going to go down. What are we at worker-wise? 11 drones against 18 probes. A lot of Lings have been made. The Lings are not going to have that much utility after cleaning up the Zealot and the pylons. I guess they can do a little bit of a containment. The Nexus gets started for ZhanHun, and the 3rd hatchery gets started here for 8-15. So, as strange as it is, maybe we can get this game into some sort of normal space. Not really expecting that. I feel like someone's going to have a massive edge in a moment that's going to become completely clear. you know, whenever a cannon rush fails, I generally do feel like the Protoss is kind of screwed at that point. But it's not always the case, right? In this case, it was like 2 creeps went down that were turning into Sunkens, so that's something, and a lot of Lings were forced, but he kept the hatchery, right? So yeah, I gotta go with the fact that I think that 815 is in a very good spot here. More Zealots are coming up across the map. As you can see, 3 more Zealots making their way up as these pylons are getting knocked out. This is going to end up causing a supply block. ZhanHun has not actually started an additional pylon at home, so definitely something he needs to get on top of immediately here. Yeah, ZhanHun falling down to 34 of 34 now. So hopefully that next pylon gets started up. Actually, 815 only 5 workers behind, 4 workers behind right now. So not as bad as actually I thought it might be after what he did end up having to spend, the amount of Zerglings he had to make. Now with these Zealots coming up from ZhanHun, we're going to see the Lings. Ooh, the Lings having some real utility here, blocking these Zealots, going for the surround. ZhanHun with some nice micro, trying to get backwards here, trying to stay on top of those Lings and not let them deal too much damage. Really good micro from ZhanHun, but of course the Ling numbers are a bit overwhelming, so he will end up losing all of his Zealots. And I got to tell you what, after all this, looking at the current position we're in, this does look pretty good for 815. 26 workers to 26 workers. Those extra Lings he made that normally were like, oh man, they don't really do that much right now, maybe contain the probe. He traded them almost perfectly for the Zealots, so that's something you should be happy about. Zergling's speed is finishing up. He finds this other Zealot trying to sneak its way around to that 3rd base location. He'll just go and hide it behind the minerals, or like basically right there. Doesn't want to just lose that thing for free. Additional cannon on the way. Back at home for 815, he does have a Spire coming up, so we could end up seeing Mutalisks. It's hard to say, right? Because there's a few different ways we see Mutalisks. There are 1-gas Mutalisk openers. Normally, you're going to make the Force Scourge first to push the Corsairs back and hide the fact that you're going for those Mutalisks. So I assume that's what we're going to see from 815, but he could just switch over into Hydras as well. And, you know, maybe that's the better play here. If you push the Corsairs back and, like, just mass up your ground units, is ZhanHun in a position where he can get the Psystorm out quickly enough? Well, right now he's focusing on getting legs. He has double gateway, so gonna try to pop out some Zealots and maybe put some pressure on with those. Ooh, the Carapace upgrade starts, so we do know that this should end up being a Mutalisk play from 815. Now, a supply block does occur, but he's leaving this Corsair just sitting there. He's got to be careful about that. You do not want to be losing one of your first Corsairs, and he will get it out in time. The first couple Scourge hatch, and the Corsair is already well on its way back home, as it really needs to be. Another Overlord did get caught, so 2 Overlords dead before he has to retreat. That's pretty awesome for ZhanHun here, who does start up his +1 air attack. So over on 815's side, some decent SimCity going down, going up to 6 hatcheries. Some Mutalisks are being created right now. We'll have to see what type of damage he can get with that. Templar Archives coming up. The Scourge kind of keeping an eye on what's going on. Scourge actually have a very small vision area, right? So, like, you can utilize them for scouting a little bit, but it's easy to miss things. So sometimes what you'll see is the Scourge will get right-clicked on Zealots and just follow them around the map, so you know exactly where they're at. Now, the Mutalisks are coming out. It's not that many yet. He gets 5, which is the crucial number for one-shotting probes. So I think that's probably what we're going to see from him, or the attempt at least. But not sure how much he's going to get done, because the Corsair count is getting very reasonable for ZhanHun, who, by the way, gets 1 drone, almost gets a second one. But only a single drone got, and it looks like over here, I don't believe he got a drone here with that other 3rd Zealot. So he's tried to put on the pressure, but not really finding the damage that he would like right now. Now, zooming out a little bit just to get a full view of what's going on. This is very, very heavy on the Scourge to just kind of zone out Corsairs, and then lighter on the Mutas. So sometimes what you'll see with this is you'll go after the probes and then just fly the Scourge in and completely zone out Corsairs. Occasionally you'll see more Mutas made, and they'll do something like dive on the cannon that's always at the main base. and then push everything back, right? It's a little bit harder to hit the natural because there's generally more cannons there. But right now, 815 is not diving at all. He's sitting back, like, pretty defensively with his air units. He almost has that +1 carapace. In the meantime, he is getting Overlord speed as well as +1 ranged attack for those Hydras, as well as the Hydra range, you know, all those things, so that he can do that very fluid transition. Kind of interesting, though, seeing him make the 5 Mutalisks and not get to utilize them as of yet. Now, here come the Scourge. The Archon is here to help protect them. Let's see if he can actually get some good hits. The Archon... Ooh, you don't want to fly the Scourge over there. Okay, good hit with the Archon, but actually the Scourge hit reasonably well here. And, yeah, it looks like the Corsair fleet maintains itself. It stays intact. Hydralisk upgrades are continuing here for 815. Psystorm just got started. I do wonder if there's any sort of quick timing attack that can occur. Psystorm is not that far off, and we have enough going on in the middle of the map. It doesn't feel to me like we're going to see just like a bunch of Hydras run over and rampage through the natural base before Psystorm. In fact, ZhanHun seems to be so confident he's not even standing near his cannons. He's out in front of the gateways here, adding some more gates as well. You do want to end up going to 8 gates total, and we see him going up to 7 at the moment. There was like a period of time where there were questions about that. Like, some people would go 7 gate and expand a little bit quicker. I've seen 6 gate and expand a little quicker, and you know, the very rare mini game less than that. But not too common nowadays. It's really, really standard to see them go up to 8 gate, but we don't see that here, right? That's 5, 6, 7. So yeah, maybe it's ZhanHun trying to get that 3rd base a bit quicker. He does send the probe in that direction. The Corsair is still staying pretty busy out there. The Zealots roaming. One thing I have to say about ZhanHun's play here that I really like is he hasn't really wasted any of his units. You know, obviously he's lost units trying to pressure and everything, but sometimes you see these positions where the Zealot Archon guy is like, oh, I need to get in and maybe deal some damage over here, and then they end up losing everything. And it's just like a faulty attack. So I like the fact that he's kind of avoided that so far. By the way, this Archon... beautiful move here from 815 to try to catch it. Good body blocking there. Archon gets caught, gets killed off, an expensive unit going down, and a lot of Hydras coming across the map. 815 actually has a huge economy. It's kind of funny with how aggressive the opener was from ZhanHun. 815, like, playing that macro role. It's not that he can't play that. He does choose to play aggressively most of the time, but certainly this game, you can see his macro is huge. Like, he has so many units for right now, caught up in supply to ZhanHun. We're going to have to see some beautiful storms if he's going to want to win this. Oh, no! He loses 2 High Templars before any storms go off there. Absolutely crucial mistake. And it looks like another one gets picked off. Another one gets 1 storm off here. The Zealots still fighting, like, reasonably well, but... that is brutal to lose so many Psystorms. I am not liking this position very much for ZhanHun. Out comes some more Zealots. Well, not really. I mean, a High Templar, but more Zealots are being made. ZhanHun not going to be able to keep that up. GG, 815 wins game number 1. So jumping right into game number 2 here, we have ZhanHun going for a scout on Sylphid. He has gone for a gateway expansion, so going to put a little Zealot pressure on. He is going to find 815 first, which of course is going to happen half the time on this map anyways. Hatchery first play, so maybe some opportunities here for ZhanHun to put some pressure on with those Zealots and actually get a bit of damage, or cause more Zerglings than you really want to make. We're going to have to see about that. It did feel like in the previous game, 815 did a really good job blocking all of the aggression of ZhanHun. I am hoping that this won't be too one-sided a series or anything, but you know, well, 815 obviously is like very experienced. He's been around a long time. He's been a pro gamer a long time. Has done well in ASL. But again, like I already mentioned, right? In the more aggressive players, there's more volatility there, right? That's why you play someone better than you rush. Well, it's because you're adding a lot of volatility in. You might be able to catch someone off guard. So I do think that this is going to be a pretty good series. I really hope it's close like we had in that amazing Paralyzed for Xiaoshui series. That was one of the better series that we've had on this channel in a long time, I think. All right, well, the first Zealot's coming. The spawning pool almost done. He's going to want to pop out as many Zerglings as is possible. 4 here, and then another couple, I'm sure, when the larva pops out or pops out of here. Definitely going to want just a little bit more. Yeah, he's getting up to 8lings now. Now let's see what ZhanHun can get done here. Ooh, gets very low on that one. Even got the probe hit, so you need one more hit. Oh, he gets it! Very nice, very nice. 2 drones down! Are you kidding me? And it looks like he is going to deflect that Zealot from getting any more. That was crazy, though. 2 drones with the very first Zealot is a big advantage to Protoss. So ZhanHun doing a great job with this pressure so far. Zerglings coming up and are going to be able to deal with that. Not the best place to put a Zealot. It's getting hit by 3lings at a time. So, you know, there's definitely better places, but he had to get somewhere quickly, and it's better than nothing. So now quite a few lings out on the map, and quite a few lings actually still being made here. Oh my god, he's like 815. He will pull the trigger, okay? Don't you tempt him. He will pull that trigger, and he will go after you. This is something that he's shown a lot in the past. It's like, oh, you're going to do some Zealot pressure? Okay, let's kill you with Mass Ling. And he might be able to do it here. Look at this. Going after that probe, going after that probe, going after that probe. Ooh, the Zealot's getting great damage in on there. Dude, the micro of ZhanHun here is phenomenal. Phenomenal. I think most of the time 815 breaks through there immediately. But as is, this is like amazing what we're seeing. And he's going to buy time for that cannon. Unreal. Unreal. I actually have nerd chills all over. That is crazy. I thought for sure, I was like, oh god, 815 is just going to kill him here. We've seen it before from 815 as well, but that was some beautiful probe pullback, beautiful Zealot micro as well. He had another one pop out and flank, and he just holds wonderfully. Looking at this game, obviously 815 is droning up as hard as he can right now. He's got to rebuild that economy. He's got his 3rd hatchery over at this high ground base, and he is getting the Hydralisk Den. So this is going to be an all-in coming from him, like a 3-hatch Hydra. You know, that initial Ling attack, that was pretty aggressive. But, you know, he has some wiggle room here to make another choice in the game about a path to go down, and it's going to be Hydralisk speed. It's going to be Hydras popping out here pretty quickly. He does want to get that drone count up into the area where it can actually support this, so that's the most important thing. So yeah, you try to get as close as possible to 1 drone per patch. You know, that's why it's called like the 973, right? A lot of builds do get called numbers nowadays because they get so specific, but it's like 9 drones on your main, 7 on your natural, 3 at your 3rd. But obviously in this case, it's like the saturation's not exact. There's the 7, there's the 9. Here he's got 4. Sometimes with the 4 you see the 4th hatchery. Or the 3rd, yeah, the 4th hatchery, sorry. 9734 is actually a 3-hatch Hydra that's done with 4 hatches. I don't know, man. I don't make the rules. I don't make the names. Someone with no creativity does. Anyways, the first Hydras are going to be popping out. ZhanHun is coming across with 5 Zealots. This is amazing for him. With the first Hydras coming out, and oh, speed just finished, so that is good. But at least he sees that it's Hydra, right? And at least he's going to trade reasonably well with these Zealots. Look at this. He's going to split 2 towards the main, and you're going to have to micro heavily here to stop just these Zealots that are already in your natural. He's dealing some damage to those Hydras. In the meantime, he should be making some cannons in home pretty soon. Oh my god, he got a drone in the main base, continuing to deal a lot of damage here as well. The drone's getting pretty darn low. Corsair going after Overlords. I want to see a couple cannons started just in case, because you got to know that this is going from bad to worse for 815, so he has got to turn on the aggression immediately. Oh, is he going to get an Overlord as well? My god, supply blocks 815. And a couple cannons get started. As long as those are up in time, right? I think 4 cannons is pretty good. Honestly, it feels like ZhanHun is so far ahead right now that he could even start more cannons just to be safe. Yeah, he does start another one. I like that a lot. I'm a big fan of, like, okay, if we're really going to win this game, make the extra turret, make the extra cannon, make the extra sunk, whatever it might be. Now, up comes 815, and okay, so 815 is actually trying to transition out of this. This is kind of interesting. It does bring some lings up the side. Not sure what those are for exactly. He's gunning down the wall. But the Corsairs are going to be able to scout that, like, oh god, drones are being made and hatcheries are being made. So 815 is saying, you know what? I know I can't break you. Your defense is too good. Let's get the economy back online. So now ZhanHun has to get his gates down. I think Corsair production absolutely should be done. Yeah, he only has the 2, but you don't want to be making more Corsairs. There's no layer or anything. Get up into your Psystorm. Get up into your gateway count. He's got enough cannons. He's completely safe. He is going to have to kill at least 2 of these to get out of his base. He's already got +1. He's already got legs, or he's about to have legs. I love it for ZhanHun. I think he's reacting really well. Like, 815 is doing his best with a bad situation. And, I mean, you've seen some of these pro Zergs in the past, how good they are at coming out of tough spots like this and droning up and making a real macro game. But I think ZhanHun has done a good job. He's shown us that he's very good at keeping pressure on his opponent. Very good at the ZEALOT rotations, trying to get around, find out if there's any damage to be had anywhere. In this case, there might be. There really could be. Turns around and battles these Hydras for a moment, picks one off. But yeah, like, yeah, he's hatching units, but not many up here, right? No static D or anything. That could be a point of contention in a little bit. A lot of Zealots being made. We see Dark Templar and High Templar both coming out. So definitely going to get his storms going. And of course, you know, the Dark Templar, I mean, the amount of damage that can deal if you get out of position with your overlords for even a moment is pretty insane. Zealots kind of poking up towards the natural. The Corsairs check it out. The SimCity is a bit too good. You can't really attack into there. Only a handful of Hydras over here. Oh, man. This looks so juicy to me. The way he's roaming with the Zealots. Notice how all the Hydras are very defensive in their formations. Not many up here, though. If he just sends all his Zealots down to the 3rd base, I think he's going to deal some critical damage. Like, only 4 Hydras there right now. He is making a few more. But the Zealots can easily beat that. Now, 815 senses what's occurring. He's starting to send a group of Hydras down to help out. Notice the drones get pulled immediately to block off these Hydras. And in fact, catching some of the Zealots that were rallying down. This is a really good defense so far. Not that anything too bad is happening to ZhanHun. Like, he's killing some units here and there. Making it a tough situation. Wow, he actually snuck the High Templars right. He has 3 storms ready, man. So early to be out here with storms, but I love it. Another nice storm goes down. Makes an Archon with it. He has another storm ready. Is he going to use it on the Hydras? Yes, he is. A lot of damage goes down there as well as the Zealots run in to surround some of these. The Corsair trying to be targeted down as it attacks into the Overlords. Still trying to target it down, man. He does not want his Overlords popping. He does end up getting it. More Hydras coming to help clean up those Zealots. But you can see a lot of damage is being dealt all over the place. Some of the Zealots did split off into the main base. Down goes many, many drones at the moment. And yeah, ZhanHun just looking on top of it. Dragoon range being made. 7 gateways are out. The 8th on the way. And his production is going to start overwhelming, I think. He's making new High Templars and some Zealots. But I feel like the real move is going to be when he gets the Dragoons out. When he has a good, solid group of Dragoons, there's just not going to be the overwhelming mass of Hydras that you want, which I think is why we see Lurkers being made here from 815. There's not a lot he can do with Hydras anymore. It's just the numbers of ZhanHun are too high. So he's going to have to create some tactical situations with these Lurkers. You know, maybe pick off some observers. Maybe, I mean, there's always the possibility of like a hold position. You don't see that too often in this matchup, but sometimes. Maybe you can get a contain off. You know, Lurkers definitely change the math on everything. Now, another big attack going to the natural. Oh my god, there's like literally nothing there. Counterattack here from 815. Maybe he feels that's the best path. But dude, this is a million units. And what he's going to run into... Oh, he actually killed 2 of his cannons off. Maybe there's some way. It looks like he's about to have some storms here as well. Oh my god, that storm is ridiculous. Dealing so much damage over here. And it looks like ZhanHun is going to take it, tying up the series 1-1.